Beautiful. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is fall prep and August push. So we are still in August push. I know you guys all had your August push goals, and I just want to remind you of that just to let you guys know that that competition is still going on. We have until August 29th, so about, what is that, 15 more days? We have 15 more days to get whatever level we want. Try to shoot for that 6K level so you guys get to go to the Nuggets or Avs game, if possible. And all you guys are either leaving this week or the following. So I would try to get as much done as possible before school. Trying to hit dirty 30 before school would be absolutely huge for you guys. So make sure you guys put a big emphasis on personal sales throughout the next couple of weeks, because we are still in the middle of a push week. Next thing I want to talk about is action steps. When I am in training and I ask for action steps of things that you guys can do to be successful, taking a shower, listening to music, and having a positive attitude are not action steps. All right. When I ask for action steps, I'm looking for things like making phone calls, getting my schedule organized, doing a demo that I have planned. I'm looking for tangible things that will affect your business in a positive way. I'm looking for action steps, not feel good steps, action steps. I just wanted to put some emphasis on that because the responses that I got in the group me pissed me off. So thumbs up if that makes sense. Gorgeous. Next thing I want to talk about is the calendar. Make sure you guys have all of our Leadership Academy dates and times in your calendar for the fall. Leadership Academy attendance is going to be key. The more that you are in front of Drew and the more that Drew sees you, the more likely you are to get the territory that you want. So make sure you have all those Leadership Academy dates in your planner and in your schedule and in your calendar. With that being said, the Leadership Academy dates are in our Assistant Manager group me. If you guys click on the group me and then go to Galley, it is the very first gallery. It is the very first picture that I've ever sent in there. Even if you just got added, Araya, Zoe, even if you guys just got added to that group me, you guys can go back and look at all the pictures and all the messages that have been sent in there. So go to the gallery and look at those Leadership Academies. Now, what is Leadership Academy? Leadership Academy is the things that you got, is a meeting that we'll have with our entire division and all the other branch manager candidates. And it will be me, Tristan, and Drew teaching you guys, and maybe Mike, depending on Mike's schedule. I think he's going to those. It will be meetings to have us teach you guys how to run a branch. So we'll teach all of you guys how to run interviews, how to run trainings, how to work Vector Live, how to do all of those things that that you need to be a branch manager. I know a lot of you guys were fearful and you're like, I'm not ready to run a branch because I don't know anything. Leadership Academy so that you guys can learn things. We're also going to be doing a lot of teaching and leadership academies through staff meeting, and I'm going to be getting you guys branch ready throughout the next 9 months. So you have 9 months. So once a week we'll be diving in, and then once a month you'll be diving into the rest of the division. And my goal is to get you guys more skilled than any other branch manager in our entire division, so you guys do get the territories that you want. And attendance on those will be very, 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 very highly encouraged that you guys attend those leadership academies. And I'm going to be an absolute menace about those. So make sure you guys have those in your calendar. Next thing is your guys' Olean, your Olean sets. A lot of you guys are signed up for Olean, and a lot of you guys have not sold your homemaker set. The only person that sold their Olean set so far is Sydney. So Sydney, congratulations, you're a rock star, you're a stud. So even if you're not selling your Olean homemaker set, you can also do a trade-in galley, or you can do a basic galley, or you can also sell 2 essential +5s. You do not need to necessarily sell a homemaker set, but I need you guys selling those essentials, those galleys, or homemaker sets so you guys can go Olean, because my biggest fear is that you guys are going to go to school and then those charges are going to rack up because you guys aren't doing demos and you guys aren't going to be making paychecks. And if you guys aren't making paychecks, you're going to say, Trey, this sucks and blows fat dick. And I'm going to say, yes, I know. So make sure that you guys, oh shit, I'm recording this. But make sure that you guys are selling your guys' homemaker sets, because I don't want you guys to get negative, and I want you guys getting good paychecks every week. I want your paychecks to reflect your effort. And if you're like negative $300 and then you're not doing demos, you're gonna say, Trey, this sucks. And I don't want that. So Make sure you put a big emphasis on it. Star it, highlight it, circle it in your notes right now. Do it. I need you guys selling those. I need you guys showing those, and I want you guys making money. Questions on that? Cool. Next thing I want to talk about. Next thing I want to talk about is fall. I don't know why I put that on there. It just says Cutco and then it says demos. Oh, yes, book a lot of demos. So we are going to have a goal in the fall to book 100 demos as a team every week. I'm going to be talking about it next team meeting. But every single week, our goal is to have 100 demos booked as a squad. 100 demos booked as a squad. So it's going to take everyone. No one person individually is going to book 100 demos on their own. It is going to be a team and a valiant team effort. And I want to make sure that we crush the fall, because the fall is going to be bigger than the summertime, because in the fall we have New Year's, we have Christmas, we have Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Labor Day, Halloween. We have so many extra reasons and extra excuses for people to be buying Cutco in the fall. And our CSPs go crazy in the fall because they are doing a lot of demos, doing a lot of appointments in the fall, and people are buying for Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, hey, a great question to ask is like, how many extra table knives do you need? I know you're going to have people over for Thanksgiving. You'll have to pick favorites if you only have a homemaker set, because there's going to be 12 people over, but only have 8 table knives. So do you need extra table knives, or do you just want to get this ultimate set that comes with 12 total? Like, oh, it makes more sense to get an ultimate set. But like, yeah, of course. And then you sell that to them, or selling extra table knives or extra steak knives. You guys start thinking about that stuff now. Also, when Christmas and Thanksgiving comes, there's going to be a lot of orders getting placed because people are buying Cutco as Christmas presents. Make sure you let your customers know that there's no guarantee that they'll get it by Christmas time if they order like December 1st, December 2nd, because there's a lot of orders getting placed and Cutco's producing a lot of stuff during that time. So you need to make sure to put an emphasis on it and say, hey, you should probably get your Christmas presents now, so you don't have to worry about it getting here in time. Cutco doesn't expire. Buy it now, put it in the closet, and then put a little reminder in your calendar saying, hey, make sure to grab Cutco out of the closet December 1st and wrap it for Christmas. That'd be a great idea and a great thing to tell your customers and your demos. It's like, hey, make sure you buy it now so you're not stressing about it later. So 100 demos, and then the fall is going to be huge. Next, staff meetings are switching to Sunday. Staff meetings are switching to Sunday nights now. I know a lot of you guys are going to be going to school this next week. So our next staff meeting will not be for a while. It will not be until Sunday the 27th. So almost 2 weeks, because a lot of this Monday, we won't have it next Monday, but we'll have it the following Monday on the 27th. So that is when our next staff meeting is going to be. And since we aren't going to have a staff meeting and all be together until the 27th, making sure that you guys are watching those Leadership Academy videos, because those Leadership Academy videos are going to be key, because we're not going to have a staff meeting for like 2 weeks. So you guys should probably be watching the shit out of those and making sure that you're getting PCs with me until that next staff meeting that we have on the 27th. On the 27th, with that being said, staff meetings will be later in the afternoon. They will be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. It'll be 7 to 9 Mountain Time. Because Sydney's at Savannah will be not there, or Sydney. Wow, words are hard. Savannah will be an hour ahead, so that's 8 to 10 her time. Same thing with Emma. When she goes to school, it'll be a little bit later, and that's the time that we decided a couple of weeks ago that would work best for us, is those Sunday nights. So making sure that you guys have that in your calendar and in your schedule, and that you guys are ready and prepared for that. Next thing I want to talk about is fall goals and fall breakdowns. Like I said, and as I was talking about earlier here, the fall is a really good chance and really good opportunity for you guys to be absolute rock stars and for us to sell a ton, because now going into the fall, you guys know a ton of stuff in the summertime, and you guys know how to sell the crap out of some stuff. And being at school and doing demos around school is actually a blessing, because you guys are in a solid habit and a solid routine, right? And the summertime is just kind of, you did do whatever you want, kind of go with the flow. But when you're in school, you're on a much more rigid schedule and a much more rigid routine, which makes it easier to do this job when you're in a habit and in a really good routine. So I talked to a lot of you guys about fall goals and fall plans, but I just kind of want to do a number review and a number breakdown. The goal is to do at least 6 demos per week. And the fall campaign is 17 weeks, but you probably aren't going to be working during Christmas. You're probably not going to be working during Thanksgivings, and you guys will have 2 finals weeks throughout school as well. So that means you guys are losing 4 weeks out of the 17 weeks, which gives us a total of 13. So if you do 6 times 13, that means you'll do 78 appointments throughout the fall. If you do 78 appointments and have a 60% close, so we're going to times that by 0.6, you'll make 46.8 sales, but we're going to round up to 47. 47 times our office average order. Our office average order right now is like 415, 420-ish. Nice. But and company average is 300, but I want to go even lower. I want to make sure that you guys are having a $300 average order, which is lower than both of our orders as well. So if you make 47 sales at a $300 average order, you guys are selling $14,100 throughout the fall, and everyone here should hit Dirty 30 for the fall campaign, doing 6 demos a week. 6 demos a week is really easy. It's a demo a day, or 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, or you can do 2 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and get your 6 knocked out that way, whatever it might be. But the goal is for everyone here to do 6 appointments with a 60% close, throughout those 13 weeks. When you guys come back from winter break, there will be a winter push. Lloyd does it it's like a region push. So everyone in our Southwest region will have a 10K a push, where if you have it's usually based on 2 things. So one, it's based off your guys' personal sales, and also getting your guys' PRs or your friends on the team and building the team that way. And you guys can get a trip to Mexico. So you remember all those times that I showed you guys that we were in Mexico having fun, just goofing off, having a good time? Yeah, those are from our region trips from our winter push. Now there will be a qualification for me to hit it. There's also gonna be a qualification for you guys to hit it as well. But you guys have a chance and opportunity to go to Mexico in December. So you guys want to have as much positive sales momentum, a big names list, and you want to be in a habit of doing demos for that winter push, because I want you guys on the beach in Mexico with me hanging out. So make sure you guys put a big emphasis on your guys' personal sales. And that's just a little bit on the number breakdowns. But if you guys want to do specific goal breakdowns for the fall, if you want to hit 10K, do this, do that, whatever it might be, get a PC with me. I'm pretty sure I did it with Emma, Michaela. I'm pretty sure I did it with all of you guys, except for Araya, but we need a PC. But anyway, break down your fall goal, and I don't think I did with Miguel either. But that's why I'm talking about it now. So make sure you guys just do your goal breakdowns. Next thing I want to show is just some our Leadership Academy video breakdown tracker. I just want to show you guys where you guys are all at and the standings for our LA video tracker. And they don't count unless you text them to me. And then, well, I need to actually update this real quick before I show it. Oh, that's not the right person. There we go. Anthony sent me like a shit ton of video takeaways at like 4 a.m. this morning, and I haven't had a chance to update it. Here we go. So as of right now, this is the updated video tracker that I've gotten so far with your guys' updates. So Sydney, shout out to Sydney, completing all 7 so far. Shout out to Anthony for completing all 7 so far. Emma with 6 so far, which is huge. Michaela with 6 so far, which is huge. Miguel with 3 so far. And Zoe with 1 so far. And then Araya, make sure that you're watching those YouTube videos that I sent, that I have on my YouTube channel. So on my YouTube channel, if you look up my name, and then go to the playlist that's called branch training. I have video 1 through 7. So to qualify and to get a green box, you need to watch these videos and text me 7 takeaways. Until you text me those 7 takeaways, you will not get a green box. So these are all of the updates that I have gotten, and all the text messages that I've gotten from everyone. So this is kind of where we're standing so far. Make sure you guys are watching those and getting those done, because that's going to be the best way that you guys will train throughout the fall and throughout the spring as well. So those are videos. The longest one I have so far is my branch napkin talk video. And that one's pretty lengthy, but besides that, they're all going to be like 20, 25 minutes. Some are 7, 18, 9. But I don't think that I don't think any more of them are going to go for 37 minutes. But it's a good conversation to have. But another one of my goals for you guys is for you guys to develop your own branch managers as a branch. So like, I want you to be like, Trey, I have 4 branch manager candidates, and like Miguel, I want you to be like, hey, I got 2, I got however many branch managers. But I want also to teach you guys how to have those conversations with people, and how to get people excited about running their own office, and how to get people excited about Olean and those types of trips, and how to develop a staff. Because I want you guys to duplicate yourselves. And how cool is it going to be to have a branch of your own that you're kind of responsible for, like training and coaching and mentoring. I think that'd be really cool. And I'll help with that training, teaching, coaching, and mentoring side as well. So you guys don't have to do it all on your own. But I think it'd be really cool for you guys next. And so that'll be summer of 24, but in summer of 25 to launch a branch with another branch, or if you decide to go district. But as a branch, you can also have another branch manager go out as well, which would be really cool. So that's why I had that one. And so that's just an example of how that conversation should go. I still need to make a PDF. For that. But that's our LA video tracker. So next thing I want to go ahead and do is some appreciation for calls, demos, and sales. So let's see some appreciation here. So with the most demos booked last week, we got Miss Sydney DeGilio. She booked 10 demos last week. She tied Zach, and Zach is in the new training class. So obviously the new training class is going to book a lot. But Sydney booking 10, which is huge. So round of applause for Sydney for booking 10 demos this week. That's huge. Congratulations, homegirl, on being the number one, tied for the number 1 rep in our office. Next, no stranger to calling like a madman, we got Miss Emma Snyder making 106 calls last week, booking 6 appointments, which is absolutely huge as well. Emma, I love your phoning. I love your effort. And that's why you're giving talks at team meeting about phoning, because you're an absolute freaking rock star. And then Anthony, you got 2nd place with 62.
I'm just saying I only got 1 less demo and I did 40 less calls. So,
well, she booked more demos and made more calls. So all I'm going to say. So with that being said, next thing is recognition and appreciation for sales. So we got Miguel, Anthony, Sydney, Araya, and Zoe all on the board this week making sales, which is absolutely huge. So shout out you 3 girls. Round of applause for y'all. And Miguel, sorry. And Miguel. So shout out to y'all and Miguel for being absolute rock stars, being absolute studs. Every single week, the goal for you guys as assistant managers is to be on the board. There's no reason and no excuse for anyone to have not a sale on the board. I know that some weeks are rough, Emma. I know some weeks are rough. But also one of your guys' number 1 jobs and one of your guys' number 1 roles as an assistant manager. And I walked you guys through this little assistant manager document. I have it literally laminated on my desk, is to lead by example in sales. So make sure you guys are leading by example in sales. That is the number 1 way that you guys will get paid, is by doing more demos. Simple as that. Cool. Next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is the 7 a.m. document. So this is what I want you guys to take your guys' notes out on. This is the document that Lloyd Reagan shared with me, and he was just pretty much talking about the power that assistant managers really have, and the power that you guys have, and the influence that you guys have over the office and over our office success. So Lloyd was sharing some reports with me, and he was saying, Trey, the number one factor in all of our top selling offices and our entire division and our entire company is how many assistant managers they have on staff. That is the number one factor into an office's sales success is you guys. The best way I can explain it is like assistant managers are the engine and the heart of our office. There's only so much that I can do, right? I might be the one driving the car, telling you guys where to go and what to do, but without you guys, we're not going to go anywhere. So that's going to be the number one factor into our office's sales success. And another one of my goals is to win a freaking silver cup. And so I think that this fall, if we really dive in, if we really follow this document to a T, I think that we can hit whatever sales goals we want. And I think that we can legitimately compete for a silver cup in the fall. The way the other district managers kind of think about the fall is they kind of take it really laid back and really easy going because they worked really hard in the summertime. They worked really hard in the summertime and they're tired and they get burnt out and they don't put as much effort in the fall. Fuck that. I want us to go Cutco freaking nutso in the fall, and you guys know that I'm cracked all the time. And so this is a very awesome and easy way for us in the fall to absolutely crush it and come back and win a freaking silver cup. So you guys can title this in your notes, The Power of Assistant Managers. The power of assistant managers. And I want you guys to write down these numbers as I'm going through them. So this is building a big campaign in a year with the right staff focus. So now that I got all of you guys, and by the way, there's like 7 of us. There's 7 of us here, but we also have Savannah, Woodley, and Pax. And Woodley's at school right now, and then Pax is selling, and then Savannah had something come up. But I have like 10 of you guys. So I literally have 10 assistant managers and not even 7. So these numbers should be like times 2. So the first one that I want to go ahead and talk about is sales. I just wrote all of these down just so you guys have like an abstract view of it. But first is sales. So 7 a.m.s, if you guys, all 7 of us place 2 orders a week on an average order of 350, but we're going to use 300, which means you guys alone, between the 7 of y'all, between our staff, should have $4,200 a week for 18 weeks, which is $75,600 in personal demos, non-office hour times. So that will probably take about 5 to 6 hours to do. And Lloyd also does like an hour breakdown of it as well. So if you guys place 2 orders a week at $300 between the 7 of us throughout the fall campaign, you guys can produce $75,600 in sales just by having a $600 weeks. You guys don't even have to hit newsletter. Is selling $600 a week part-time and doing 6 demos doable, feasible? Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are doing it around school and all that other stuff. So I understand if you guys have a bigger week, have a lower week, but that's the power over 18 weeks that you guys could have. Now, are there going to be some weeks where some of us don't step up and some of us do step up? Absolutely. So on average, our assistant manager staff needs to sell $4,200 a week, which is very doable. So the next thing is phone jams. So if we have 7 a.m.s doing 2 phone jams a week, generating only 1 sale per phone jam from reps. So when you guys have phone jams and when we host phone jams like we're about to, if that 1 phone jam produces 1 sale from either you and another representative that's there, someone who's going through training who's not a part of our system manager staff, you guys per phone jam could produce 14 sales. If you produce 14 sales with an average order of 300, that's another $4,200 in sales times 18 weeks, which is $75,600 in sales. if you book a demo and that other person books a demo and they make a sale from that phone jam, that's the power that we could have. And that's just with 2 phone jams a week. We have 3 phone jams on our schedule. You guys following along so far? Awesome. If those numbers, if those maths, if the math isn't mathing, just let me know. Next is PR blitz times. And this is going to be something that I'm going to be putting an emphasis on the 27th and making sure that all of you guys are equipped and ready for this. But what PR Blitz is, it's all those names that we get from training when we recommend people to the job. It's sitting down and calling those people and setting them up for interviews and getting them through training and getting them selling. So if we have you guys make 2 PR Blitz shifts a week for 90 minutes each, that's 3 hours total. So if you guys spend 3 hours making those calls, and if you guys schedule 1.5 people per hour, that means we'll have 31.5 scheduled a week. If we have 31.5 PR scheduled per week with an average conversion for every 10 we have scheduled, 1 will launch. But we're actually we're going to guarantee it. We're going to use a 15-to-1 launch. So if we schedule 15 people, out of those 15 people that we schedule, only 1 will actually go through training and do their first demo, which means you guys will be launching 2 extra people per week. If we launch 2 PRs a week at a 1,500 PPR, PPR stands for productivity per rep. Right now, our office PPR is like 2K. So we're going to use a lesser PPR of 1,500. That means each week, $3,000 in sales over 18 weeks, $54,000. So something that's cool that I want you guys to notice is per week, $4,200 from you guys getting your 6 demos booked with a $300 average order, times another $3,000 plus another, I did times $4,200 plus $3,000. You guys are generating $7,200 in sales every single week on a weekly basis, plus those 14 sales from the demos, which is another $4,200. So per week, just off these 3 activities of you guys doing your 6, booking a demo that will lead to a sale, and scheduling PRs on a weekly basis, we should be almost having 12K weeks just off those 3 things. That's the power and that's the influence that you guys have. You guys could generate 12K weeks every single week, which is crazy. But anyway, so that'll be an approximate 3 hours on top of your guys's, on top of everything else that we have going on. Next, which is a system and a program that we're about to implement, which is social media messaging. And I'll show you guys how social media messaging works. Mike is having a lot of success in booking a lot of people from social media. He's shooting people DMs on Instagram just saying, hey, I see that you went to Lewis Palmer High School. I went to Lewis Palmer too. I'm not sure if you're looking for work, but we got some positions opening. Would you be interested in working here with us? And he's had a lot of success. This week alone, he's booked over 20 people for interviews. And I think he has 7 set for training this week just from social media messaging, which is nuts. So I have a PC with Mike because I want to know what he's doing. So we have 7 assistant managers sending out 20 messages a day for 7 days. And it takes literally to send out 20 messages, it takes like 10 minutes to do. Like that's something that you guys could be bored and in class and be doing that in class. So 20 messages a day for 7 days is $980 or 980 people messaged per week, which means we'll at least launch 1 person every 18 weeks from social media. If they have a $1,500 PPR, that means we'll have an additional $27,000 in sales just from social media messaging. So you guys all should have watched that video on recruiting is the answer. And Rita and all those sources of social media or all those sources of recruiting. Social media messaging is one of those sources. You guys following along so far? Okay. Let me know if I'm going too fast because I really want you guys to have a clear understanding of all this. But you can piggyback this on phone jam time or another office time as well. So like to start off a phone jam or to start off our PCs of like, hey, send 15 messages, send 20 messages, or we're about to start a phone jam. Cool. Text your friends about the job or whatever it might be for like other reps. But that's a very easy, like a 10-15 minute activity that we can do to like start meetings. So next is campus activity. Now this is going to be something that my locals are going to be doing. So Anthony, this is something that you're going to be doing. Sydney, Miguel, and Araya. This is going to be something that I'm really going to be counting on you guys to help me with throughout the fall. And what campus activity is pretty much we go to campuses like UCCS, Pikes Peak State College, UCCS, CSUP, and Pueblo Community College. Those are like the 4 big colleges in our area and in our territory. And basically what we do is we'll get like a little booth and a little table, have a bunch of candy set up. I'll have like a blue book there, and I'm like I'll be like playing music, and I'll be like, yeah, you guys should totally sign up for the job. It's lit. And then you guys are there and you're like, yeah, it's super lit. And we're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. I'll do it. And then we book people for interviews from that, which is dope. So that's campus work. We're also gonna be doing a lot of flyering and postering. So Zoe and Michaela, this is something that you guys are gonna help Tristan with up at Boulder and UNC, which is gonna be a lot of fun for him as well. And he, in exchange for you helping him, he's also gonna be helping you and coaching you guys on campus. So you'll have someone to come to do your PCs with in person, which is pretty cool. And you guys already should be in contact with Tristan about that. Yes. Put you guys in that 3-way. Beautiful. Cool. So if you guys do one campus activity a week, which is what I'm planning on. So like Miguel, you'll do 1 week, 1 day with me at like Pikes Peak or at CSUP or Pueblo Community College. Araya, same with you. Since you're down there, you'll help me with campus work every once in a while. And then for Sydney and Anthony and I guess Miguel, you could drive up here for it, but you guys are going to be helping me at UCCS, and you guys are also going to be helping me at Pikes Peak State College as well, hanging up flyers and posters and running tables and stuff like that. And that's going to start next week as well on the 21st. So if we go to campus once a week and we get 10 applications and we get 10 people to launch from campus, so we launch 1 campus person a week for the next 10 weeks. That's $15,000 in sales. And also that could be in between your classes too. So like Anthony, if you have a class from like 9 to 10 and then don't have another class until like 1 o'clock and you're staying on campus anyway, yeah, you can be like, hey, I got some free time. Let's do some campus stuff. And I'll come over and we can do some campus stuff in between, even in between your guys' classes as well. Yeah. The next is going to be the PC and how you guys can influence the team through PCs. So you guys throughout the fall, you guys actually might start running your own teams and managing your own teams. So doing PDI, PCs, and your coaching calls and your check-ins, check-outs with reps on the team, because our team is getting very big and I'm getting to the point where I can't take all these incoming phone calls all day, every day. So you guys might be running your own team. So even if you guys do 1 PC a week with a rep, and lately the theme of my PCs is I've been making you guys make phone calls during our PCs. Yeah, I can go one of 2 ways, right? It all depends on how you answer this next question. How many demos do you have ahead? But if you guys do that with your guys' team and it produces 1 sale, so like for example, Anthony, I did that with you. You booked 4 demos and you actually, did you make a sale this week? No, you didn't make a sale. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, and that was one of the people that you actually called in our PCs. Sydney, same with you as well. And then Araya, I know that you booked like what 4 during our PC, and it led to a lot of sales that way, led to you making your first sale. So you see the power of me asking you guys to do phone calls during our PCs. It leads to big results, right? So if you guys do that with all the reps on our team, and it creates 1 extra sale per week for 18 weeks, and all 70 of you guys do that, So 7 times 300 is $2,100 in sales for that 1 week. So we can add that onto our count or add that onto our weekly sales. So plus another $2,100. Over 18 weeks, that's $37,800 in sales for the campaign. So on a weekly basis, as an office, just doing these basic activities, which you guys know how to do 90% of these activities already, we could have almost 14K weeks every single week throughout the fall. And it all stems from you guys, right? I wish I could do all these things by myself and have these numbers by myself. But the team effort, it's a team game. So with all that being said, it's a total of anywhere between 8 and 11 hours, depending on your on-campus work and how much you guys are on campus, but we'll go on a low end of 8. So an additional 8 hours of work, you guys could generate a total of $285,000 just from you guys. And that's not including my sales or any CSPs that we have in our office or anything like that. So this fall campaign, we could sell $300,000 almost. Just from paying attention to the small details, right? Making sure that we're booking demos, making sure that we have 100 demos scheduled per week, making sure that everyone gets a PC, making sure we're sending our social media messages, recruiting, building the team, and making our phone calls. We could have $300,000 in sales. And it doesn't even require you guys hitting newsletter every single week. And this is based off a metric of 7 assistant managers. We have 10. So now do you guys see the importance of what you guys do? You guys are valuable as fuck to me. I appreciate you guys a lot too. But $285,000 in sales over 18 weeks, directly caused by you guys. Pretty insane, right? Is that exciting, motivating, inspiring, or you're just like, Trey, you just threw a lot of numbers at me and it's like not even 10 a.m. yet? A little mix of both.
Inspired, but I'm also like, bro, I was up at 4 a.m. watching videos.
You're like, I've heard enough of you today.
I knew too much your voice, bro.
Awesome. My peeps on Zoom, Araya, Michaela, Miguel, how are you guys feeling about this? Is that exciting, inspiring, motivating? Words, please.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool the way like you break it down to each of us doing like 1 or 2 things a week.
Yeah, you guys doing 1 or 2 actions can have huge results. And this is also a really cool document that you can show your assistant manager staff when you guys are running your branches, because these are all activities that you guys can do as a branch, which is insane. So that's the importance of having a staff. So I love that, Miguel. Araya, Michaela?
I think it's kind of you.
I
Trey
think
pick.
Sorry. Okay.
Mhm.
I think it's super inspiring. It's exciting just because like fall it can be stressful, but that gives like a little shiver of hope, like we can actually succeed and thrive and improve our sales as an office.
Yeah. And it doesn't even require you guys doing too much on the personal sales side either. Like you guys just need to sell $600 a week, which I know that you guys have had much bigger weeks in the past. You guys have had much bigger weeks and much bigger sales reports than just 600. So I love that. Michaela?
It's like a lot of numbers. It's really nice to see like how much it influences. It's kind of interesting from my part, just knowing that I'm like helping 2 offices at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of weird, but like also kind of cool. Like I'm helping 2 people do well. So I like it.
And that'll also be a skill that you'll have too. And that's something that you'll have in your tool belt. Being able to have, I always like to say diversity of thought is a catalyst to a genius, and the way Tristan runs his business is a lot different than the way that I run mine. But it'll give you a good perspective and a good point of view of like, hey, this is how Trey runs his office, but this is how Tristan runs his office. How do I want to run my office? And that's kind of how you find yourself as a manager. Because I've taken a lot of things from a lot of different managers as well throughout the past. And even now, like some things I'll talk to you guys about. I'm like, oh, this is what Drew taught me, or like, hey, this is what my buddy Mac taught me, or one of my other friends here or here or here. And it kind of like made me realize like who I want to be as a manager, learning from other people. So I think that you working with Tristan can only be a positive. Sydney, thoughts?
I mean, I definitely feel inspired for sure, especially with all the really big numbers. And yeah, it's really easy to hit, so I have a lot of hope in us.
I have a lot of hope and a lot of trust in us too. So every single week, in every single one of our staff meetings, we're going to be breaking down these numbers and how we can influence these numbers as well. So these are 6 action steps. These are 6 action steps that we can take to have success. Zoe?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel everything.
I feel everything.
It's very inspiring, it is a lot, but I mean, it's good to, like hear all of these things, especially when you do say like, oh yeah, like Drew taught me this, or oh yeah, my PC Mike, like we learned this, like whatever. Because then it's like, it's not just you, we're getting feedback from other people too, through you.
Yeah, you guys are getting, yeah, you guys are getting the best from, the best, right? I take the best parts of Drew and I'm like, Drew telling me to tell you guys this, so I'm gonna do it. Or like, hey, like Lloyd Reagan, our Southwest region manager, he told me I should talk to you guys about this. So do you think this is important stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. So I love that. Anthony?
I think it's cool how you guys know the math to be able to put it on paper and say hit this, do this, and we will make this.
Yeah, it's a cause and effect, right? Here's like the cause of like, here's the action that we can take, and here's the effect of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of that. Or erase it. But yeah, knowing that this action will produce this result, even if we have really crappy numbers with it. Like if we have a $300 average order, usually we use a 10-to-1 ratio with PRs, but we're gonna use a 15-to-1. And then this is what the result will happen over a long period of time, right? Which I really like. Cool. Does everyone have this written down in their notes so I can erase this so I have more space on the whiteboard? Gorgeous. So I want to make sure I'm hitting all my steps before I move on to the next thing. So this is something else that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about, as well as how to run your guys' business. And this is the way I want you guys to start thinking. And this is the way I want you guys to start thinking about your office. This is the way I want you to start thinking about our office. This is the way I want you guys thinking. And this is how you run a business. This is directly from Drew Frank himself. And this is how Drew taught me how to run my office. And you guys have obviously seen the success that I've had. And I don't need to talk about all of Drew's accolade and accomplishments for you guys to get how badass Drew is. So next thing I want you guys to write down in your notes is how to run a business. How to run a business, and specifically how to run a Cutco business. But this is also something that you guys can take into other aspects of life too. So like school, if you guys want to start your own business, with your clubs, your organizations, if you guys are involved in extra stuff at school, like sororities, whatever it might be. But this is how you guys will run a business. So there's 3 aspects into running a business. There's 3 aspects into running a business. So first is systems. So what is a system? A system is a weekly action that produces results. And what are the results that we're looking to produce with this? Two things. Demos and sales. Demos and sales. That is what a system is. It's a weekly action that will produce demos and sales, that produces results, tangibles. So is listening to music and smiling and having a positive attitude, will that lead to demos and sales? No. Right? So what are some of the systems that we have in our office? And I don't expect you guys to get this answer necessarily right, but I want you guys thinking about it. What are some systems and some programs that we have in our office on a weekly basis that produces demos and sales?
Phone jams.
So phone jams, yes.
Team meeting.
So phone jam. Miguel said team meeting. Kind of. I think that falls into another section later, but I like where your head's at with GroupMe. What are the other systems that produce demos and sales that we have in our office?
Recognition. It's an incentive that happens weekly.
It isn't.
Back then,
It is an incentive.
I
it-
want recognition. Hey, Trey, next week I want you to call out my name when you're talking about these people.
I like where that's at, but that falls under this one.
I'm just
Not this
trying
one.
to spitball here.
Okay, so here are the
Trainings,
yes, trainings.
advanced trainings, interviews, blitz, all that stuff.
PCs.
So here's kind of like the big four. You guys are saying a lot of positive and a lot of the right answers, but those also kind of fit under these as well. But everything you guys said, I like it too. So PCs, PDI. I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, I guess Blitz too. So, if someone goes to a phone jam, what's the result of a phone jam? They book demos and that they will make sales from the demos that they book. What's the point of team meeting? The whole point of team meeting is that people feel good, so the recognition, and that they are booking demos because we do a phone jam then. So team meeting directly leads to demos and CPO. What's the point of training day 1 and day 2? To have them book a lot of demos and have them make sales. That's the whole reason why I train someone in this job, so they can book demos and make sales. Now, do I also need to teach them how to do the demo? Yes, if I teach them how to do the demo, they'll make sales. If I teach them about the homemaker set, maybe they're gonna sell a homemaker set. Yes. But everything that I teach them throughout training day 1 and day 2 is in order for them to feel confident booking demos and for them to feel confident in making sales. Advanced training 1, we go in much more depth, right? So we talk about advancement opportunity, we talk about part-time, full-time, we talk about the trade and special. What do all of those things help produce? Demos and CPO. Advanced training 1 and 2 would fall under that category as well. And our PCs, this week alone, Oraya's PC, Anthony's PC, and Sydney's PC, and even my PC with you, Zoe, has produced CPO. So PCs, that's a system that I do every single week to help produce results and move the needle. So these are needle moving results. And what's the needle? Needle is how close can we get to CPO? How close can we get to sales and produce touches? And like by touches, I mean calling customers, getting in contact with customers. That's what the needle is like demos, sales, and talking to customers. So these are all needle moving activities. So PDI, making sure that you guys are getting talked to on a daily or weekly basis as well. And then Blitz, Blitz is going to be a results driven activity because the more people that we have in our interviews, the more people we set for training, the more people we set for training, the more demos and the more sales that we'll have. So these are the systems that are in our schedule on a weekly basis that will immediately produce results. So Drew kind of tells me about this too. I'll be like, Drew, I felt really good about this meeting that I did today. And he goes, okay, what were the results of that? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, did it produce sales? Did it produce demos? And I'm like, no. He's like, is that a good system? And I was like, no. He's like, should you keep doing it? I was like, no. Right? So something may feel good for us, like, for example, some managers run like, I don't know, like random ass meetings, and they're like, oh, I felt really good running this one meeting that I did this one time, and it felt really good, and my reps felt really good. And I was like, okay, cool for you that you feel good, but I think that your reps will feel a lot better if they're booking demos and making sales and making money. Right? So when we talk about how to run a business, when we talk about our branch, these are the things that you guys need to do. And these are the systems that you guys need to manage. And you know what the result will be. Make sense? Cool. So even now, as an assistant manager, and now as as assistant managers and you guys as sales reps right now, what are the systems that you guys can put into place to make sure that you guys guarantee CPO and sales? Routine calling. Yes. So highlight phone jam. That's something that you guys can do on a weekly basis that will produce results for you guys, that will produce demos and produce sales. Event attendance is huge, right? I love that. Because the more events that you guys attend, every single one of our events that we do, every single one of our systems, what do we do during those systems? What do we do during those events? We do phone jams. I love it. What's another system that you guys can put into place to guarantee that you guys will have CPO and sales?
We could.
So PC, I think that would go under event attendance. I'm thinking about something in specific.
Schedule.
That would go under here. It is a system. So like, I mean, that's like a 50-50. That isn't a system, but that's more under that category.
So not accountability, because those are. Go for it.
Building your names list. Building your names list. That's an activity and that's a system that you guys can do to produce sales. Sydney does a fantastic job of that. And that's why she's having so much success right now. That's why she's booking so many demos and making so many phone calls and having so much sales success, because she has a huge names list, because she's been sending out social media messages like a mad woman. Miguel?
Would like building a schedule be part of that?
It would be like a 50-50 one.
Okay.
That would go into more of managing yourself. Because if you were on a schedule, then that makes sense, but that would go under systems as well. So it's like a 50-50, and like some of them might involve two of them and like overlap a little bit. So that's something else that we could put down. The schedule, that could be one too.
What about asking, like, when your customers get their order to make a social media post?
Yeah, social media posting would be a great system. Like, hey, after every single time I ask for referrals, I'm going to ask them to post on social media for me. So I'm going to say customer post. That's a great system, because if they're posting on their Facebook, Savannah has done a fantastic job of that. Savannah always has her customers post on Facebook, and she gets incoming leads of people who want Cutco all the time. They come to her asking for a demo. That's huge. That is a great system. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come up with one more. What's one more system that we can do What's an action that we can take on a weekly basis that will produce either demos or sales?
What about
Pushing
follow
harder.
past customers? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Aria, what were you gonna say?
Like following up with your past customers.
That can be a system. But I think reaching out to past customers is like an end of a push week, end of a campaign activity, not necessarily a weekly or daily activity that we could take. So I like where your head is at. You could write that down as like a bonus key. Like, so like put a little star next to it, like past customers. So yeah, that's something that's great that I think you guys should do, like at the end of the fall or at the end of the summer campaign, just reaching out to all your past customers and just saying, hey, thank you for your demo. Thank you for supporting me this summertime. I hope you're enjoying your knives. That'd be huge, building those customer relationships. But that's like a 3-time-a-year activity, like at the end of spring, end of summer, end of fall. I think that would be a great time to do that, but not necessarily a weekly activity. But I like where your head's at. Miguel, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say pushing harder for recommendations after demos, because that'll just lead to more demos.
So a recommendation and referral focus. Would that go under building your names list?
Yeah.
What about the email, sending an email now?
Would that go under past customers? Yeah, I think so. Cool. So we got going to phone jams, event attendance, building your names list, having a schedule, and having your customers post on Facebook. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty solid.
I thought you were looking for one more.
No, I was just seeing if you guys had any other ideas. I wasn't looking for anything in specific. Because if you guys are phoning, if you guys are closing and having your customers post and you're focusing on your names list, that will produce sales and demos. So phone jam produces demos. Event attendance, you'll make phone calls, will produce demos. If you build your names list and you have people to call, that means you're what? Booking demos and making sales. If you have a good schedule, kind of overlaps with managing yourself. But if you have a good schedule, it also makes sure that you have spots and opportunities to book demos and make sales. And then having your customers post on Facebook, having those incoming touches, that's also great too. And then reaching out to past customers will also produce more demos and more sales. So I think that's perfect. Unless there's anything that I'm missing that you guys want to add. Cool. So that's what a system is. A system is a daily activity that will lead to either demos or sales. So that's the first step in running a business. If you have really good systems and really good programs, and you're doing all those things on a weekly basis, do you think it'll be really hard to have, or do you think it'll be really easy to have success if you're doing those things on a weekly basis as a branch or even now? Yeah, it'll be really easy to have success if you're doing those things on a weekly basis. Do you think having success would be really hard if you're just freestyling and not really knowing what to do and you're kind of running training, but you're kind of not, or you're like, oh, I might run advanced training this week, I might not, I don't know. Yeah, it's not gonna be too hot, right? So when you guys are running your branch and putting together your branch schedules, and when you guys are putting together your college schedules, before you guys leave in the fall, making sure that you guys have those systems that will lead to the results that you want, which is demos and sales. And I always like to ask myself, is what I'm doing right now creating more demos, or is what am I doing right now creating more sales? And if it's not creating more demos and more sales, I probably shouldn't be doing that activity. Cool. So next thing is if you can manage your systems. Second part is manage others. Manage others. So by managing others and inspiring others, you'll have much better results, right? If I didn't know how to manage you guys and I wasn't doing all the things that I have done this summertime, I don't want to say anything in specific because I'm be asking you guys how I manage you guys. But if I wasn't doing a lot of the activities that I do, would you guys be here right now?
No.
No. Would you guys be wanting to run your own branch offices next summertime?
No.
No. Right, so that's a part of your business, is being able to manage others. So what are some things that you can do as a branch or as a manager, or what are some things that I do to manage you guys? Who said it?
PCs.
I was yawning.
So Zoe said PCs, I love it.
PDIs.
PDI.
Group me.
GroupMe. GroupMe is huge. What else?
Does check the in whenever we have that?
Yes, that would fall under PDI. Miguel, you can just unmute yourself and say something. You don't have to raise your hand.
We each have like our specific roles in the team.
So specific roles, assistant manager roles. We need to go back and relook at that. That's gonna be a next activity. Next week, next staff meeting activity. Thank you for that. I needed that reminder. Make sure I'll hold you guys accountable to your roles. So your AM roles, how else do I manage you guys?
Fun with us.
Have fun. So I'd also like to say that as relation. I spelled that so wrong. Relationship build. Having fun / building relationships. It's a really great way to manage people.
Always having like something exciting to teach us or tell us at team meetings. Just like I would say like incentivizing us to go to certain events.
Would that more be under systems that I can do? Or would that be more of managing others? What do you think?
I think it was like kind of with both, like you said, some fall in between, but I think it goes more with the systems.
I would agree. I think that's more of a system and more, I guess, incentives. Incentives could also go under systems as a manager. But I guess it could be managing others too. I'll count it. So incentives, huge. I like it. I'm thinking about something. I'm thinking about two things that you guys are missing. Thinking about two things. Yes, but not what I was looking for.
What does that say?
Accountability. I just can't spell or write or read. Kind of literate. I sell knives for a living, leave me alone. What's something that I have you guys do what's something that I have you guys do in order to inspire and motivate you guys? I have you write down your what? Goals. Yep, goals are huge. Right? All of you guys have your own goals, and I have my own goals too. But if I was like, Zoe, I need you to hit 10K this campaign because if you sell 10K, I'll hit a bonus and I need my bonus so I can make more money. So I need you to sell 10K. What are you gonna say to that? You're gonna be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna like work my ass off so this guy can get a bonus. Like, what's in it for me? Right? But when your reps have goals of their own, I can say, hey Zoe, I know you're trying to graduate college debt free. I know that you're trying to buy a new car. I know you're trying to buy a new car and pay your way through school. So let's break down what 10K really looks like. And if you sell 10K, you'll make $2,000. Is $2,000 and making $2,000 in income this summertime exciting? Awesome. So let's break it down. How can we pay our way through school, and what does 10K really look like? Cool. Let's write down, get to 10K as one of your goals. Now, when I call Zoe and I say, hey, Zoe, I see you don't have any demos booked. How are we going to pay our way through school? And she's gonna be like, shit, you're right. Right. And it's going to light a fire under her, but it's for her own incentive, for her own reasons, not for my reasons as a manager. It's going to be coming from her internally. And that's how you manage people. You manage people through their own goals. I'm a big believer in that. I'm a very big believer in managing people through their own goals. And in turn, I'll hit my goals. Because the more you guys sell, the closer I get to becoming a DVM and an ADVM and running my own division one day. Right. But I'm not going to be like, Zoe, I want to run my own division, so I need you to sell. She's gonna be better, right? Like that's not gonna be exciting. That's not gonna be motivating. That's not gonna cause Zoe to take any action moving forward, right? So, but if you guys have all of your reps have their own goals, their own whys, their own purpose, their own individual reason, their own individual why, that'll be huge too. So I like it. So goals. What's something else that I make sure that you guys have? And that's what's something that I always ask you guys and review with you guys.
Habits?
What'd you say?
Habits. You go over it a lot.
Habits, teaching habits. Yeah, I guess. I think that's more of a systems and others thing that could be as well. So habits, I'll write it, I'll count it. What I'm thinking of is calendar and making sure that you guys have a plan, right? And your guys' PC, what do I say my job is? To make sure that you guys are making money, you guys are happy, and that you have a what? A plan. A plan. Right? If you guys don't have a plan, what are we doing? Right? That's why I'm a big believer in you guys taking action steps. Because it takes you guys one step closer to your guys' plan. You guys know what to do after. What time is it? 10:17. Okay, we got plenty of time. Gorgeous. What else goes into managing others? Thinking about something in specific here. So I guess let me ask this question. So you guys don't have a team of reps that you're managing. So I want you to think about it. Who are you guys managing right now? Customers. Yes, you guys are managing your customers, right? You guys are calling and scheduling one-on-ones with them. And as you guys learned from our last staff meeting when we talked about interviews, I make sure that every single person that I set for training from my interview, I'm like, hey, grab a pen and piece of paper and make sure that they write it down. And I talk really slowly, like, hey, Friday, August 10th from 11 to 7. You guys hear like the pencil scratching in the background, they're writing it down, right? Do you think they're going to show up to training if they write it down and they're super excited and they feel good? Yeah, absolutely. So you guys aren't doing that action yet. You guys aren't doing that activity yet. But what activity and who are you guys working with? And who do you need to show up? Who do you need not to forget about you? Who are you managing? Your customers. Right. So finding a good time, finding a great time, not a good time. I guess 7 p.m. will work. Oh, you don't sound too confident in that. What about 8:30? Oh, 8:30 works much better. Perfect. I'll see you at 8:30. Make sure you get a pen and piece of paper. Write this down for me. Saturday, 8:30. Cutco demo with Trey. Put a smiley face so you know what I look like when I get there. Right? So you guys are managing your customers as well. So when we talk about this, and when we talk about you guys running your own branch office, if your reps don't have their own personal goals, why should they give a shit about your goals? They won't. You won't have reps show up to team meeting. You won't have reps show up to training or advanced trainings if they don't know why they're doing it. Right? So they need goals. If you guys don't build relationships with your reps and you're just a boss and not a coach and not a mentor, and you're not building relationships with them, it's just like, oh my gosh, my boss is constantly on me about booking demos. It's the worst. Right? They're probably going to quit. Right? I make sure to get one-on-one time with all of you guys. I also make sure that we do group stuff, right? So that you guys get to intermingle and talk to your guys' selves and talk amongst yourselves. Right? It's really, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if you guys have this written down in your notes or not, but write this down. It's really easy to quit a job. It's really hard to quit a person.
A lot.
Yeah. It would be really hard for me to give up on you guys. Right? It would be really hard for me to give up on you guys and quit on you guys because we built great relationships. And I feel shitty about that. So I'm not giving up on y'all. And in turn, I know that you guys aren't going to give up on me. So relationship. And then lastly, making sure that they have a calendar, knowing when and where they're supposed to be. I'm not sure if you guys knew this about me, but in high school, I was the kid who had like my entire calendar on the back of my hand. And anytime I went to the bathroom and washed my hand, I didn't know when and where I was supposed to be. I was like a chicken running around with his head cut off. Right? I didn't know what I was doing. Calendar skills, my manager taught me that through some trial and error. Through lots of trial and error. So my manager, Kevin, and same thing with Drew, I'm sure you've noticed this, but Drew has a paper calendar. He doesn't have a Google Calendar. Same thing with my district manager, same thing, he had a paper calendar. And he made me get a paper calendar, and I left that mug everywhere, bro. I was like leaving it in my car. I like left it at school one day, and my manager was like, "Where are you? We're supposed to have a PC. Where's your calendar?" And I was like, "I don't even know where my calendar is." He's like, "Get your ass to the office." And I was like, "Okay." So I was zooming to the office, right? So Google Calendar works a lot better for me. So also catering to your reps, because I know, like Miguel, I know that you have a paper calendar. And I know I made you get a Google Calendar too, but I know that you have a paper calendar that works better for you. Like Araya, I know that you're much more of a Google Calendar person than a paper calendar person, right? So just making sure that they have a plan and that they know when and where they're supposed to be. That'll be huge because that will drive event attendance. And event attendance is part of our system that will lead to demos and sales. So any questions on managing others or any other activities that we can do?
No.
Gorgeous. Actually, last thing I want you guys to go ahead and write down is manage your customers better. Manage your customers better. Make sure you get really good with phone skills, picking great times, not good times, making sure that your customers are writing it down so that they don't ghost you. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. It's going to be key. And then last part of managing any business is yourself. How do we manage ourselves? So you said habits / routine, whatever. So habits and routine. How else do you manage yourself?
It's helpful. Like, calendars, like one for work, one for personal, one for school.
I like that, but I like having it all in one. Because if you have like one selected, but you don't see the other one, then you're not going to know about those events in your other calendars. So I always like to stack personal and professional as well. But having a calendar, huge. How else do you manage yourself?
Self-discipline.
Like, I could go to this party, but I haven't booked any demos this week. And if I go to a staff meeting hungover,
It won't be happy.
Trey's not gonna be very happy. Right, learning when to say yes to certain things and learning when to say no to certain things is huge. That's something that everyone struggles with always. I struggle with it too. Right, but discipline is a huge way to manage yourself. The discipline to stay to your calendar, the discipline to stay to your habits. I love that. Great, great key. How else can you manage yourself? Yes, goals. Having your own goals, having your own motivations. Right, at the end of the day, I'm gonna highly encourage you guys to do this job to the best of your abilities, but at the end of the day, it's up to you guys. I only have so much influence, right? I can say, you should do this, you should do that, but at the end of the day, it comes up to you. So what are your goals? What are you shooting after? What's gonna make you call to action? Right, when your alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning, because you have to go to class and be in class by 7. Or whatever the fuck. Right? What's gonna make you get up right away and not press snooze? Right? That's what your goals are about. So if you are dedicated to your goals to a fault, is it gonna be easier to have the discipline? Yes, because you have incredible goals. Is it gonna be, can you hit any goal you want through your calendar, through your schedule? Yeah, but you have to know what your goals are in order to know what to plan. When you have a habit and a routine, do you think it'd be easier to hit your goals? Or could your goals be a habit and be a routine? Yeah, absolutely. So I love that. What's a few more? How can you guys manage yourselves? I'm thinking about something in specific.
I know at SC2 they talked about like taking yourself meal prep instead of eating all the time, getting enough sleep, stuff like that.
So preparation, can I meal prep this week? Can I make sure that I get enough sleep this week? And preparation might be a habit, right? My habit is, my routine is every Sunday night or every Saturday morning, I'm in the kitchen cooking my meals for the rest of the week. So now I'm prepared for the rest of the week. I love that. Great. So preparation. What else? This is our class. There's no wrong answers. Just throw some shit out there.
I was thinking kind of how like you always tell us is controlling what you can.
Yes, focusing on what you can control. Focus on controllables. I like that a lot, Miguel. Should I get bent out of shape if someone doesn't answer the phone when I call them? No, because it's not in my control. What can I control? How many phone calls I make. That's huge. I love that, Miguel. There's a couple things that I'm thinking about when managing yourself.
Having a business mentality.
Mentality. Yes, mentality and mindset. And that's a segue that I want to dive in here into a second, but that wasn't what I was specifically thinking about, but I do want to talk about that as well. So I'm gonna put a little star next to that one. So next thing, the thing that I was thinking about. I don't know how to spell, but learning equals more earning. The more you're learning, the more you're earning. So what books are you reading? How are you growing as a person? When you grow as a person, your business grows. When your business grows, it requires you to grow as a person. That's why I put such a big emphasis on personal growth and personal growth activities and becoming the best version of yourself. Because when you grow as a person, your business grows as a person, your systems start growing. The way you manage others starts growing and getting better and better and better. So learning from others, huge. What's something else? Something else for managing yourself.
Kind of more disciplined, but being your own boss.
So that will go under mentality. So boss and employee mindset. I'll spend a lot of time talking about that, but there's one thing in particular I'm thinking of. And we kind of talked about this last week as well. Mental health. Mental health, that will be huge. Right, so as we talked about last week with functionalism, what are the inputs that are gonna give me the outputs to produce happiness? Right, if you have the outputs of being upset, working backwards, why am I upset? This happened, why did this happen? Okay, what can I do differently? Right, that's mental health. That's taking care of yourself. That's journaling, making sure that you're in the right headspace and doing things that you know will lead to your happiness, doing things that will lead to your success. Right? So for Zoe and Araya, you guys weren't here, so just to get a Spark Note version, if I stub my toe and my toe hurts now, that's an output. So the mental thought process is, why did I stub my toe? Oh, I wasn't looking at where I was going. I was texting on my phone. I wasn't wearing shoes. And I
moved it.
Yeah, I moved my desk 2 inches to the left. Okay. So my toe hurts because I stubbed it. I stubbed it because of these reasons. So let's look at these reasons and how can I make sure it doesn't happen again? I should probably move my desk 2 inches back to the right. Or I wasn't wearing shoes. Should probably wear shoes more. Right? Or I wasn't watching where I was going because I was on my phone texting. Should I be texting and not looking where I'm walking? No, I probably shouldn't do that. So I probably should sit down and make sure that I send all my text messages before I start walking into random places and stubbing my toe. Right. So it's kind of like the input output of like, what do I put in? What does the emotion cause? And what's the output? If you just have the output of like pain, my toe was bleeding. Okay, that makes me feel sad. What caused me to feel sad? Stubbing my toe because I wasn't watching where I was going. How can I change that? By doing these things. Okay, I feel better because I know what caused everything. So you can go kind of forward and backwards. Like, I know that going to the gym makes me happy. Why does it make me happy? Because I have big muscles and I look like a Greek god. Right? So I want to make sure that I can replicate that feeling. So finding the inputs that make happy, finding the inputs that make sad, and being able to go forward and backward with those things and identify your own emotions through journaling and through that mental kind of thought process. It's called functionalism. But anyway, I digress. But mental health, huge. So let's go ahead and talk about business mentality. And then I got some personal growth stuff for you. Let's talk about business mentality when managing yourself. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is mentality. You guys are the CEO, CFO, and COO of your guys' own little company. So we're 1099 employees. Does anyone know what 1099 means? It means you're an independent contractor. What does an independent contractor mean?
That you own your own business?
That you own your own business. That means you get to pick and choose when you work. You get to pick and choose how much money you make. You get to pick and choose all of those factors, systems, and programs. You get to choose all your own systems. You get to choose how you manage others, and you get to choose how you manage yourself. We are all 1099s. The way I run my office, I pick and choose how I run my office. How I run my office is gonna be different than the way that Drew does, which is different than the way Tristan does, which is different than the way Mike does. That's the beauty about being a 1099 is you're in control of your income, your schedule, and what you decide to do with your time. It's a blessing and a curse. It's a two-sided coin, right? Because if you decide not to do anything, then you're not making money, then you're not doing those things. All right. So you are the CEO, CFO, and COO of your own little company. Which leads me to my next step, which is kind of the boss and employee mindset. I want you guys to write this down. This is a really cool concept and a concept that I really like. So being an independent contractor, you guys are the boss and the employee at the same time, right? Our boss side is like, let's do 100 demos a week and make 1 billion phone calls today, and let's make a fucking shit ton of money, right? And your employee side is like, yo, homeboy, I'm not making 1,000 calls and doing 100 demos this week, right? Like that's way too much, right? And so it's finding the balance of both, right? So if you let your employee side take over too much, like, oh, I'm just gonna take today off. Oh, I'll take tomorrow off too. But I really want to go to the football game. I really want to go to this frat party. I really want to enjoy myself. At the end of the week, we booked no demos, made no sales, we didn't get a paycheck. And then your boss side comes in saying, what the fuck are we doing? Right? Then you guys are mad at each other. Now your employee side is mad that you're not making money because your boss isn't scheduling you when you're your own boss. Right? And if you let your boss side take over too much, you're going to burn yourself out. So, Michaela, can I use you as an example? Awesome. So yesterday, we were doing fall breakdowns and Michaela goes, I want to sell 60K around school. If I do 10 demos, 10 to 15 demos a week for the next 13 weeks, I'll hit 60K by the end of the semester. I said, Michaela, your boss side's going a little bit too crazy right now, and your employee side is not going to be having it. Right.
I would like to say it was in fact 14 weeks.
14 weeks. Sorry.
I gave myself a little bit more time. Gosh, make it reasonable, Trey.
Sorry, yeah, that was the part that wasn't reasonable. So with her boss side, do you think Michaela going to CU Boulder, taking 13 credit hours or however many credit hours she's taking, 14, 15 credit hours.
15.
So taking 15 credit hours, doing 15 demos a week for 17 weeks in a row, or 14 weeks in a row. Do you think that that is reasonable and achievable? No, because what's going to happen? Michaela's going to work extra hard. She's going to burn herself out, and then she's going to be failing through school. And then if she's failing school and she's saying, Trey, my attendance is going down, my grades are going down because I'm putting Cutco up front, I'm quitting Cutco. And she's going to put all that burnout, all that anger, and all that tiredness and all that hate. She's going to direct that to Cutco, and she's not going to be here to run a branch office next summertime. That's just the facts. Because I've done it before. I've done it before. I was like, I'm going to do this all around school. And I got burnt out so quick. And I was like, I hate Cutco. This job sucks. I'm overworking myself. And like, this job sucks. And I'm just trying to impress Drew. And it's not working. And I was like, my failing my classes. I'm ass at basketball because I'm not in the gym. And I was putting all that anger and hate towards Cutco when in reality, my boss side was just going a little bit too crazy and my employee side really started to feel it. So making sure that you guys can find a balance of what's too much, what's too little. So as you guys have seen in my calendar, I work 7 days a week. I put in long days and I'm consistent with it, but that's what works for me. That's what works for me. I like putting that work and I like putting that effort in. But also, you guys know this too. I like to party. I like to go out. I like to drink. I like to dance. I like to have fun. I have friends outside of Cutco that I hang out with that aren't you guys, so that I'm not constantly getting berated by knife talk. And I'm like, Sometimes I just don't want to talk about knives. I'm like, I talked about knives for 12 hours today. I'm done. I just want to like talk to normal people today. Right. So I find a balance of both too. So I make sure that my employee side is happy along with my boss side is happy as well. And I found that kind of that balance of in between. I can work 7 days a week, 365 and be okay. Now, for some people working 7 days a week, that's a lot. Sometimes you can get more done in 6 days than you can in 7. Right? And that's okay. Having 1 day off is okay. Right? But making sure that you find that balance of both and making sure that you're being equally productive and also taking care of you and taking care of yourself as well. But when we talk about 1099 being our CEO, CFO, and COO and a boss and employee mentality, what I always like to think and ask to myself is if Trey put his 1099 business, so if I put our district office on the New York Stock Exchange and people could buy and invest into our office and what we're doing and what we're building and what we're creating, would people on Wall Street bet on me? Would they bet on me? Maybe. There might be some people that would. There might be some people that wouldn't. Right? So that's a question I want you guys to write down. That's a question that I want you guys to think about yourself. And this isn't like, I'm not subtweeting anyone and I'm not like saying like, you guys are lazy, like no one would ever invest in you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, I want you guys to ask that question to yourself. Is what I'm doing right now producing enough results that someone would invest and give me their money? Right? We talk about Apple, Google, Facebook. They're like, oh, we should invest into Apple stocks because Apple's working really hard on developing the new iPhone 37, whatever the fuck iPhone we're on now. Right? And they're like, oh yeah, Apple's a good company. Invest into them. It's safe, it's guaranteed. Would people say the same about the way you're running your Cutco business? Are you putting in New York Stock Exchange level of effort? So when we talk about goals, we talked about goals earlier. Are you putting in $10,000 effort? I know we're in an August push right now, and all of you guys have your August push goals. Are you putting in 10K effort to get to that 10K promo? Are you putting in 20K effort to get to your 20K promo? Are you putting in the effort that you need to hit your goals? And would someone bet on you to hit your goals? That's a question I want you guys to ask yourself. Am I putting in the amount of effort that I need to hit my goals? If someone from the outside looking in, they looked at my business plan top to bottom, looked at my calendar, looked at my schedule, looked at my goals, looked at my mission statement, looked at my employees, would they say, yep, I'm going to bet on Trey and then bet on his success because I know it'll pay back dividends? Because when you invest in someone on the stock and when you buy stock, it's not guaranteed that that stock's going to do well. It's a bet, it's a gamble, it's a risk. Would someone take a risk on you guys? That's a question that you don't have to answer right now. I'm not asking you guys to like say that like out loud or anything. But that's the mentality I want you guys thinking about yourself. And when it comes to running a business and these 3 things, these are the factors that go into running a business. You can have the best systems and you can manage others, but if you can't manage yourself, do these 2 things matter? No. If you don't have any systems, but you're really good at these 2, is your office going to sell? No. If you can manage yourself and manage systems, but you can't manage others, is your office going to have success? No. So it's finding the balance of all 3, right? Now, should you put priority on some things more than other things? Yeah. Should we invest into ourselves and make sure that we're good before we start teaching others and implementing systems? Yeah. It has a trickle-down effect, but all 3 are equally important, right? It's like a little tripod. Could it stand up on 2 legs? Yeah, but for how long? So, last thing I have written down before I dive into my personal growth for today is Mamba mentality. Do you guys have the Mamba mentality when it comes to this job? Are you treating this as a job? Are you treating this as a business? Or are you just treating it as a hobby because you really like Trey and Trey's really funny and he's cool and I want to be like Trey one day, but I'm just kind of like going through the motions on things? Right? Or are you treating this like a job? Are you investing into yourself? Are you investing into others? Are you investing into your systems and programs? Are you treating this like you're going to be put on the New York Stock Exchange and you need to pay back dividends to your people that invested back into you? That's mentality that I bring, and I've had success doing it so far. That's mentality that Drew's taught me, that I'm teaching you guys. And when I talked to Lloyd last week, he was asking me the same questions too. That's what Lloyd was talking to me about, was this stuff right here. He's like, Trey, can you teach your people how to manage systems, manage others, and manage themselves? Lloyd is very good at that. That's why he's our region manager. That's why he's Drew's boss. Because he's very good at managing people, managing himself, and managing the systems of our region. So do you guys have the Mamba mentality? Are you guys taking that approach with everything that you guys do? If the answer to that question is no, follow-up question, how can you change that? If the answer is yes, how can I maintain that? So I was just looking in the mirror and looking at some personal growth. Cool. Round of takeaways before we dive into the next thing. Come on, round of takeaways. What'd you guys learn? Michaela, start us off.
Okay, so the main thing is like you kind of just need to have a balance overall with your life in general. That goes for like managing yourself, but also managing your business, like the systems, others, and yourself. That's a balance. But then like managing the system side of it is a balance, managing others is a balance. It's just overall having a balance in your life and planning things out.
Yeah. Managing your balancing. Oh, it's gonna fuck at me.
What's up, Zoe? I was waiting at the lobby. I was like,
No, you're all good. You can take a seat. Okay. We're just wrapping up our staff meeting. So you get to hear a little bit of what our staff talks about, what our system managers talk about. But yeah, having a balance of all three. I love it. Miguel?
I like the business breakdown, like managing the systems, managing the people, and then managing yourself.
Yeah, that's huge. That's what goes into any business. Araya?
I like the whole breakdown of how to run a business. I specifically liked the managing others just because I like the goal breakdown, and you're never going to be able to motivate anybody else if you're not motivated yourself.
Absolutely. Sydney?
Yeah, I guess mine's kind of the same. Just you have to master your systems, managing others and yourself in order to run a business successfully. And if you can't do one of those, then you can't do any of them. So you have to master them all. Yeah, I really like the balance, just talking about balancing everything, because that's something that I struggle with. I don't, like, I'm kind of an all or nothing person, so I'll like do all of one thing and kind of forget about the other one. So just having that good balance between all of them, and just like everyone else is saying, like, if you aren't good personally, like with yourself, how are you gonna teach others?
Mm-hmm.
Managing others produces better results. But to manage others, you need to be able to manage yourself.
Absolutely. And so when you guys go out to run your own branches, that's the approach I want you guys to take to your schedule. That's the mentality that I want you guys to take to your offices, to yourself, to school. It's a very good mentality to live by as well. It's like even your personal life. How can I manage the systems of my finance? How can I manage the systems of my meal prep, my habits, my routine, my goals? How can I manage myself to become the best version of myself? Be the best spouse and significant other? How can I manage myself and manage my relationship, my partner, my personal life? You can take it into any aspect of anything, basically. Cool. And then we're gonna wrap up on the momentum triangle. So you guys can go ahead and draw this in your guys' notes. This is the momentum triangle. This is the momentum triangle. This is gonna be kind of our personal growth for today. So this comes from a book called The Compound Effect by Dan Hardy. And the compound effect talks about small daily actions that lead to big results over time. So he gives the example of 3 people and their diet. So one person they don't change their diet at all, they just stay consistent over 3 years. They stay at the same weight, same everything, they're not losing weight, but they're not gaining weight. Another person puts himself on a very strict diet to lose weight. Over 3 years, he loses 50 pounds over 3 years. And the other person doesn't care at all, and they just eat Snickers bars, candy bars all day, every day, and he gains 30 pounds over 3 years. But what was really cool is that only one thing really changed, right? It was just their diet. So having and eating good food every day for 3 years resulted in someone losing weight. They maintained their weight. They're not eating any better, not eating any different. They're just staying consistent. And the person who decided to eat junk food once a day, every single day for 3 years, ended up gaining 30 pounds. At first, it didn't seem like a lot. So it's just one Snickers bar today. And then it adds up and adds up and adds up. And that compounds over time. Right? So like that person who lost a bunch of weight, the first year, he only maybe lost like 10, 15 pounds, nothing crazy. Next year, he also lost another 10, 15. Year 3 also lost another 10, 15. And now we're looking at it, and he lost 40 pounds. And then the person who was eating bad, hey, I only gained 5 pounds this year, gained 10 pounds this year, gained another 10 pounds year 3, and now I'm 50 pounds overweight. Right? It's just that one factor, that compounding bad effect or the compounding good effect that you have over time. So this is the momentum triangle. So this triangle is your results. This triangle over here is your effort. And this can be over weeks, months, years, however you want to think about it. We'll go with weeks, just so it's more tangible, more bite-sized for you guys. So week 1, there might be a time where we're going after a push, or we're going after a big goal, we're going after whatever it might be, and we put in an incredible amount of effort, but only see this result. So, for example, I know that, like, example for Emma made 106 phone calls. She put an incredible effort in. Is she seeing the results right now? No. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay, because she's putting in the effort. If that effort stays consistent, the results will get bigger and bigger. So week 2, Emma still makes all those phone calls. The effort will probably match the results a little bit, but after 3 weeks of consistent effort, you'll get massive results. You guys can change your Cutco business with a snap of a finger over 3 weeks with consistent effort. So anytime that I'm upset with our office and I'm like, my reps aren't selling, my staff hates me, whatever it might be, I'll just say, hey, I just need consistent effort for 3 weeks. I need to focus on the things that matter. And I know that we can be able to turn around by the end of the month. And that's facts. All facts, no printer. So what activity can you put consistent effort in and then receive these results over time? Another thing to think about too is that you may be putting a lot of effort in and not seeing those results. And that might be like, oh my gosh, I'm putting in all this effort, I'm not seeing any results, I'm just going to stop putting in effort. No, that's when you should double down. call bluff and keep that consistent effort over time. And that's huge. And that's not only a Cutco skill, but that's also a life skill. It's also a very big life skill, being able to keep that consistent effort over time to see those results over time. Guys, in this business, your Cutco business isn't going to change overnight. It's not. Sydney, you're a great example of this. I was actually talking to Drew about you the other day. And he asked me, he's like, Trey, who's stepping up in your office right now? I was like, dude, Miss Sydney DeGilio is like MVP of this week. Now, when Sydney first started, she was putting in a lot of effort, wasn't seeing a lot of results. Like month 2, pretty even. And now Sydney's putting in the same amount of effort as she was week 1, but now receiving triple of the results. Receiving triple of the results that she has been. That's huge. She's closing, she's phoning, she has people on her names list. Her efforts stayed the same, and now her results are showing and they're shining through. She's finally putting together that CPR. Sydney, you're a rock star, MVP of this week. So let Sydney be the best example of this. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Pretty cool stuff, right? Cool. So that'll be our personal growth for today. So with that being said, I'm gonna pause the recording so that we can upload this to YouTube. All right, like, comment, subscribe, new videos come out every week. Little outro.